So then, we had you guys in the monastery of the Mirror Forge. It was morning, technically. You guys had just woken up to a new day and began to do several tasks around the monastery temple. It's a very odd infrastructure. It's very dwarven in design, considering it's going underground, with several chambers below each other. All in a very symmetrical fashion, which you kind of got the hang of already on this technically second day here, as well as Senator showing you guys around. The ones downstairs, you guys had just finished on. Senator, you'd just finished making your boots that you were making.
Yeah.
Which went pretty well. And then assisting Savant in making some of his projectiles, which
we machined 60 of them. So,
are you calling Senator a machine?
Of course.
So you just finished making those, and it's relatively hot down here because it's a very enclosed area with the several different forges all placed in this chamber. Again, in a very circular fashion. Some are being instructed by Durant, which you had previously met as the large, very muscular centaur, he's relatively old. He's probably in his. You're not actually sure how long centaurs live, so you would have to make a guess. He has an aging face to him, probably. If he was human, probably in his 40s. And Seren, you were just watching, enjoying the sights. Is there anything you two want to do downstairs while you're working? As I just go through everyone.
No, I don't really. I think I'm gonna spend helping out and just kind of work on my thing.
Alright.
I'm hoping there's some sort of music in the background, pushing to the limits while we're working.
Push it to the limits.
Yeah.
The whole atmosphere has its own type of music with the rhythm of people hammering, the sound of billows
Dun, dun,
of the billows into the forge itself. The actual sound of the fire of the forge itself, creating this type of bass underneath. Also, as well, the escaping lava flows, which you can hear as well bubbling underneath. So there is some type of rhythm to it. It's not technically music, but you could probably be humming along to something while you're working.
Okay.
And then, yes, Savant, you did catch what you heard last week.
Yes.
And what were you planning to do, Savant?
How long have we gone on now? With our crafting?
I'm doing this as a whole thing throughout. There isn't already a time thing I'm working on just yet.
Okay, at some point, as we're starting to take a break, I guess.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna go up and try to do this with shield? We need to make it a dented, at least similar, so we can fit another shield inside, a smaller one. It would be a quite art project.
Sure, why not? I got nothing else to do in the morning, hoping nothing attacks the... Alright, sure, why not? Let's do this. Do we have any other shields that we can use to do this? Because I have none.
There's definitely... You can definitely ask. Obviously, everyone's practicing making all the types of things. There's definitely probably someone working on a shield. You definitely have, a few people. Tunk being one of them, who's still in the apprentice stage, but his main forte, if he had a forte, is currently working on large pieces of sheet metal, so chest plates, shields, that sort of thing.
Right.
As well as actually someone else. Actually, no.
No, okay.
No.
Alright. So I'm just gonna go try and ask Tank.
Alright.
We probably need a buckler size for another shield.
So you two head upstairs. Seren, you gonna follow? Or are you just gonna...
No, I still have to find Durin to talk about the stuff that I found.
Okay. Well, you definitely see Durand in this...
Hard to miss.
Yeah, it's kind of very hard to miss. He's easily taller than everyone in this room.
Okay. Samantha's gonna whisper something to Staninger as they had walked out the room.
Oh.
I will whisper it in.
Right?
Oh, okay. You're actually gonna whisper. Sure.
I totally forgot to send you things, Ambi. Never mind. I told you I was going to send
That's fine.
type of things. Yeah, I will do it next time.
You can send it on Skype or something. So yeah, Seren. You see Durand instructing one of the younger students. They're not too young. It seems this is the second step of the process. They're roughly at least in their late teens, going into 20s, 30s. And he's teaching them the process of actually creating. Miss Dwarf, I never caught your name.
Saren.
Saren, I apologize. Welcome downstairs. This is the craft chamber. Personal quarters for those who wish to practice and follow my teachings. What may I assist you with?
I found these 2 spears and these 2 hammers in the aftermath of fighting one of the giants up on the edge of the caldera, and I've never seen this type of black metallic tip on a spear before.
If I may.
Of course. She'll hand them over.
The spears, you say? Pull up the right document. The wood itself is, well, beginning to rot, unfortunately. The tips themselves, the black metal, is adamantine. You can tell, there is currently no rust in them. And you said you found these on the door, the giants.
I did.
Well,
there were other bits of broken armor and bone. They must have just picked them up with whatever they killed.
They are excellent tools for piercing. Cutting through most flesh and bone with relative ease. Usually this is used for armor. Unusual to have it as a weapon tip, but it will do well. And as part of it, they have the chance of causing a rupture.
Ooh!
And they have +1 to damage. Not to attack, but to damage. You said there's something else?
2 throwing hammers.
Well, these seem of ordained, designed from ordinary steel, it seems, but well made, almost. Sorry. Possibly made here. Yes. These were made here. how they managed to get in the hands of giants will be a mystery, but if they're made here, these will be excellent weapons. Don't lose them. They're quite valuable in consideration.
The forge is welcome to have them back. I would prefer to keep the spears myself.
As you wish. We thank you for returning these. We'll keep these as a sign of what can be made and taken. A lesson. Thank you, Miss Seren.
Thank you. I'll leave you to your work.
And he turns back towards one of the other students, who comes up to him and shows him this kind of twisted piece of metal, which is kind of half red hot and still kind of steamy a little.
Right.
All right, so
I'll toddle back upstairs.
all right, you go back upstairs. Ulan, you are in the dojo, I believe.
Yes.
Working on some of the forms with Shay. I think Morinth was in there as well, with Desmi. What's the rest of the plan you have for the day, morning?
I would like to go and find Eri, whose name I have remembered this time.
There you go. Have a list, just have a list of all the NPCs.
Yeah, I did, and I left it somewhere.
Yeah, you can definitely go search her. Just give me a quick perception check.
Perception check.
First roll of the day.
Oh god, and it's not even perceiving muffins. What's going wrong? Wow.
5. You don't so much find her as in just walking into her. As you walk into this relatively small dwarf, and you're not even sure it was her until you see the mass of instruments and tools and oars that just completely falls to the floor as you just step into her.
Oh crap! Sorry.
What? Oh.
I immediately had
Well,
a stuff. This is fortuitous. I was actually trying to find you.
Yeah, totally. So you're going to starting to pick things up and actually put them into a bag to carry instead.
I will help her do that, but I would like to also subtly be nosy at what she's got.
It looks like she's got a few standard pieces, or as well as what looks like almost like pure, almost turquoise color pieces of metal.
Is it similar to the corundum in the sword that I have?
Sword?
The longsword that I got off one of the giants, and it was green, and you told me it was made
No.
of corundum.
This is turquoise blue. So
okay, as opposed to turquoise green. Okay.
Yeah, that was like pretty strong green. This is a very almost like a sea turquoise kind of color.
Okay.
And it almost has a kind of swirling pattern kind of into it as it's being forged into an ingot.
Okay.
It's just like, I need to put these away as well. Don't mind me, these are some project materials. So, wait, you said you were looking for me? What have I done? I haven't done anything.
Actually, well, technically you have done something, and that's kind of the point. First of all, I owe you an apology. I was harsh and suspicious when we found you in the tunnel, but those bags of yours were pretty freaking amazing.
Right, I didn't actually ask. How did they go?
They went so well that I would like to present you with an opportunity to exchange more of them for a quantity of gold.
Are you saying I have commission? As she kind of completely steps back, puts down the things.
I Well, if we're going to use the commission word, there is one maybe teeny weeny little bit of a tweak I'd like to discuss with you.
Well, I am always willing to help customers. So, what can I?
Do you think you might be able to attach some of those exploding bags to the end of an arrow?
And she pulls out a slate of rock and begins getting out a bit of chalk and starts making lines onto it. Well, arrows are pretty light. However, if we increase... No. We decrease the actual, probably, powder. We can probably make it work. I'll probably do some tests just to, make sure it doesn't explode in your face.
Would you be using wooden arrow shafts, or would you be planning on something of a more metal forged nature? I only ask because I have some woodcrafting skill myself. And
what type of bow you got?
I pull out the bow and show her.
Is it a short bow or a long bow?
It's a long bow.
It's a long bow.
The double-barreled chubby.
It is a long bow. Okay. Oh, well, with one of those, maybe possible. Range would be a consideration.
Oh, aye. The heavier something is, the harder it is to give it a wee shot, toss, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go down to the forges to do some of my own projects, but I can definitely look into this, and I'll get back to you, and we can discuss prices.
Alright. Sounds good to me.
And then she looks around, and there's still a ton of stuff, so she's like, don't buy me, and she begins putting stuff back into the bag. And then begins
do you
dragging
need a
it.
hand carrying all that?
No, I've carried harder, heavier things. Both of the things.
I'm not gonna say anything on that.
Heavier than hard.
I was gonna say, well, if you're free later.
She's like, never mind. Yeah, and she begins dragging this sack of metals, which just clings as she begins dragging it, and then tries to haul it over her shoulder as she begins going down the stairs. That goes down to the personal fortress.
Once she's out of sight, I'd like to head up the stairs and check up on the situation outside.
All right, where actually Aaron is, who's still, I imagine, got out a lounge chair, sat down.
Serafina is also sitting there.
Oh, okay, you're up there as well.
Reading.
Getting the fresh air. Yeah. The weather outside is actually quite nice now. It's not completely warm, but it's definitely warmer than the tunnels you were in, and it's a lot better than the environment inside. There's a bit of smoke still coming from the actual almost chimney that's kind of built. That the stairs are built around that leads up into this almost just tube that goes up. But the actual weather outside is quite nice. There's a little bit of cloud, but it's mostly very blue sky, with the odd bit of sunshine. But it's definitely still a very there's not a lot of colour in the environment around the actual monastery. It's very dark with heavy stones. There is a few kind of greys, whites from partial pieces of chalk and other types of stone. But it's mostly a very dark black from either charring or obsidian, from what seems to be remains of a volcanic activity in the area. And and basalt, obviously. So it's a very dreary looking color scheme around, but the contrast between that and the sky is it's definitely very abstract in terms. Yeah, both of you two are outside. Yeah, both of you two can give me perception checks. Aaron, as you're probably not caring, I'll just use your passive.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm to make a perception check?
Do you want to use my passive? That's gonna be probably better than my roll.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so do a roll, actually.
I was to make a roll.
Yeah, you're outside. And yeah, Ulan, you're coming up. So sure, you can as well because you were looking.
Can I,
up.
before I look around, can I attempt to sneak up on Aaron?
You can attempt to. You would have to beat his passive, yes.
What is his passive?
Aaron?
20 something.
I think it's 21.
21.
Yeah, you can beat that.
Big mummy.
Try
Money,
it.
no mummies?
Wait, no, it's more.
You have the +5 to a passive.
Yeah, it's 22.
Oh, okay, 22.
Uh-huh.
I was one off. Okay, I apologize. So, you,
It's 22, you say?
yeah.
And technically I've leveled up at this point, so I have all my hero dice back.
You did sleep,
God.
so yes. If you want to be heroic in the stealth.
I was gonna sneak up on him and use thaumaturgy to do like a Gandalf moment, but no.
No. However, Aaron is pretty much eyes closed. He can hear there's movement. And Aaron, you can definitely hear the sound of
Dragon feet and tail.
dragon feet and definitely a tail. Just being just
wait,
carefully,
hang on a second.
very carefully, kind of just scratching at a bit of metal. And yeah, claws against metal is it's a very tingy sound.
What page is the thing for multiclass now?
Oh gosh, like 200 and something, 230. If I'm right, I'm amazed.
163.
Okay. Why? What was it that you were looking up?
I'm just double checking because I know for some classes you get like skill bits, but you don't for a fighter.
No,
So-
fighter, you just get all the weapons.
All the proficiencies. Okay, never mind.
Yes.
Proficiency out the ass.
And Ulan, yeah, give me perception as well because
Perception as well.
you're coming up to actually inspect the area. 19 as well. All right. So as you're coming up, and Seraphine, you're kind of just like sitting on one of the ledges, enjoying the breeze while reading your dragon book. Book on dragons.
Was my stealth good enough to sneak up on Seraphina?
Oh yeah, like Seraphina's
Yeah.
passive is.
Can I
12.
sleight of hand her hat then?
You can attempt to, as you do have the opportunity as she's looking away. 22. All right then.
Still me trying to Indiana Jones this shit.
I'm not gonna leave something in place. I'm just gonna take the hat off, put it on, and sit down next to it and see how long it takes for her to notice.
She doesn't change any expression or motion as the hat vanishes from the top of her head. It's just, she's either really engrossed in this book or you're just really good. You're not sure yet.
I'm gonna assume the second.
Yeah. You sit down beside
Okay.
and just kind of just slide up. And she still has yet to
Hello.
catch
Oh.
until you say hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
I look at him. I notice my hair.
you know, it's this wonderful hat, very similar to your own, is on top of Ulan's head.
I'm reading.
I can see that. Anything exciting happened?
I can
Any-
finally see the sun.
Any hemorrhoid butt monsters or anything like that is more what I was thinking.
I haven't seen or heard anything. I like your hat.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it?
I will look over and facepalm.
As you two are talking, you do notice with the perceptions, far up, as you guys were probably looking, I'm going to say like northeast, you catch in the corner of your eye on one of the entrances or exits, way up halfway into the caldera, you see a slight bit of movement, too large to be normal human-sized, but then it flickers and vanishes again.
It flickers?
Almost like it pops up and then disappears.
Like, it just looked like it was hiding behind something, or like it looked like magic?
Almost like it was, you spotted it and it disappeared out of sight.
Okay. Are there? I presume there were like monks around and stuff.
There is currently several, probably 5 monks, each looking in a different direction.
I turn to whichever one's nearest to me and say, "Is there any sign of another attack or anything?"
You turn to one of them who's actually a human, one of the few humans here. Also has a very shaven head, has a little bit of a goatee, most of it singed, however. It was kind of dark brown colour.
Does he have a blue arrow tattooed to his head?
He does not.
Okay.
He does have tattoos, though, all across his back. And has, like yourself, completely cut at the shoulders, a rope. And turns to you.
Nice.
There has been no sign of their attack. We've spotted during the night, however, scouts. Haven't seen the purpose of it. They're probably trying to see if we have any weaknesses.
Have there been any more of those big beasties? The big rock throwing?
The atrocities, no.
That's a good name for them. I prefer butt monsters myself, but. Alright. How long are you on shift for? Are you changing, or are you like stoically on watch all day?
For the next 5 hours.
5 hours. Alright. Well, if there are any problems, make sure that you get Sunbather over there to help, and get him to signal the rest of us. Cause
He kind of slowly turns towards the the other human who's lounging on some deck chair that came out of nowhere.
He's always carrying around a deck shed, don't you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it was in the port of behold, obviously.
you have to be patient with him. He's a cleric of love. You
He
know,
means love.
It is fine.
Well.
Several of us have taken the duty of watching this place.
so what brings you to the Mirror Forge? Are you like a native of this continent, or are you? Yep, you seem a little tall for a local. Is the only reason I ask.
You noticed. No, I was a blacksmith. I came from the east. I came here to discover knowledge of the forge here. One of the best. And I
East of the continent or Eastern Isles?
the Eastern Isles. I
Right.
believe you would know them as Tetsan.
Is that where the Earth Temple was?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I don't suppose you know anything about the Earth monks from out that way.
Which colony?
Well, any of them. Part of my my traveling band, one of us is from one of those colonies, but she's not very chatty. And I myself am from the Azure Dragon Temple off in the west, off on Vildin.
Oh,
So
and he
I'm
gives
on
you a
one-
slight bow.
I'm on a wee little roundabout and walkabout, whatever you want to call it.
Welcome,
you
then,
know-
brother.
Thank you. But yeah, do you know anything at all about the colonies?
I have not been to any of them. I was from the southern parts. They are more to the northern side of the Isles, where the mountain range peaks.
Well, I suppose an Earth Temple in mountains makes a lot of sense.
I had heard the stories of one of them having to be demolished. But
Would be demolished by the monks, or
a collaborative effort, it was said to be. It was... And he kind of is trying to remember the details. It was said to be corrupted.
corrupted?
I'm not sure what they meant by that. But the entire area had to be buried.
Right. And what happened to the monks there?
The ones that survived were moved to the others. I
Aye.
don't actually know how many survived.
Well, I guess at least one. Alright. Thank you, brother. That's actually quite enlightening.
Not a problem. It's a pleasure to meet one of the outside.
Likewise.
Dan?
Hmm?
Dan.
What?
Ulan.
Oh,
Yep, hello.
Wow,
What's my name?
I'm not allowed to talk to you, apparently.
Hello.
Didn't you see the movement? The distance?
The thing that was there and then not there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was chatting to. Oh, sorry, brother. I didn't catch your name.
Finn.
Finn. I actually will probably remember that.
Hmm.
Is that with two N's?
Yes.
Figured as much. Alright. Yeah, Finn says that they've been some scouts, but not like a assemblage of an attack or anything. Although, I mean, you know, you're reading a book, so you might not have noticed if there was one.
Yeah, let's not look for more fights, please.
Why not? I've had a nap. We'll be fine. I practically took out one of those hemorrhoid beasties on my own. You know, not that tough. Well, I mean, between you and me, Aaron, anyway. Couldn't have done it without your invaluable assistance. And the grace of your divine mistress. Which sounds way more sordid than it did in my head. Your mistress is divine.
Oh, good God.
Only to yourself.
Are you alright, Aaron?
Yes, I'm just trying to figure out whether you've been honest or not.
Honest about what?
My usefulness in fights. Let me think
No,
about it.
like for real. Like that beast was defeated because of your bolstering of our group. That entire fight there could not have done it without you raining your blessing upon us or whatever. You know, I don't know what you did, but it was great.
Everything I do is great.
Well, that's debatable.
What?
Partly.
Some of it's fabulous rather than great.
Oh, well, obviously.
Are you alright though? I know this is not exactly what you signed on for.
Yeah, I was excited to see the Mirror Forge, and now I'm not.
Well, technically we've not seen the Mirror Forge.
From what I've seen so far, I don't think there's gonna be any mirrors involved.
Well, I don't know, actually. There was some, from what Senegir was saying about the trial. And facing yourself. I mean, if anybody is going to have expertise in stuff involving their own reflection, it seems like you're the man to rise to this occasion.
Yes, if you ever see any mirror shield, please let me know.
Have you checked all the ceilings? Like above the beds and stuff? That's where I'd put a mirror.
Well, that's where I have my mirror back home, but...
Oh, exactly. I've seen it.
I don't think there's any here, though. There's no flowers, it's just stone. How do they live here?
Poor Aaron, and I will stand up, I'll walk over, and I'll use my amulet to give him a flower crown. As no, like a lei. Like a Hawaiian neck flower thing.
Oh. He's on vacation now. Now he just needs like a little drink with a little umbrella on it. There's none of those, sorry. Alright. Who's left? Ifamore. Or anything else you're going to be up to as you finish cleaning up the rest of your armor, which is a little dented from your fall yesterday, but it's better now that you've managed to clean it up. The amount of materials here is good enough. Did you hear? Oh, and did you hear me when I said, "What's Ifamore up to?"
No.
Oh.
You, did,
No,
you missed the whole bit that like I put the hat back on Seraphina's head and it covered her face.
Well, I heard it now. Serafino, your hat has been returned.
Yep.
Congratulations. Your ensemble has been completed again. Set bonus achieved. So, yeah. What's Ifamore up to? Now that you finished polishing up your armor.
I wasn't polishing arm. I was in the training room practicing.
Yes, you
swords.
were. My apologies. So yeah, you were just practicing with one of the dummies.
Yeah.
Which are very tough in looking at them. They're actually, it looks like underneath the actual kind of covering of cloth and looks like hay. There seems to be actual metallic skeleton underneath, which is why these don't actually seem to be getting cut down. They're very much for just hitting than more cutting.
That's okay. It just means I can take some pentac rage out on them.
Fair enough. Actually, as a test, give me an strength check. Yeah. Just see how much hurt you can lay on these dummies. Apparently, about average. It's pretty
I'm
good.
disappointed.
It's not like
It's not very good to have
I would like to averagely rage.
just averagely rage. Just like give him a couple of taps. But no.
But I'm not a barbarian, so I can't rage properly.
You can inner rage. But yeah. You carry on for a couple more hours. As this is happening, actually, just go back to the top. Actually, it's kind of like combat. It's quite fun. Senator, you went up to go and find Tuck. Sorry,
Yes.
Tunk. Sorry, not Tuck.
Yes,
is
and
it-
I'm assuming that Savannah's with me.
Yeah.
He's following
Working
behind.
on- Yeah.
And you do find Tunk. It's generally pretty easy to find him. He's either the one making the loudest noise, not by himself, but because his strikes with the hammer is so loud, it actually kind of overwhelms everyone else's swings, even for his size. But you do find him in the central chamber, with several of the other younger students, actually listening to Ket, the Azir.
All right. So I approach him. Actually, they didn't meet another lesson, right? Something.
He seems to be kind of off to the side of the lesson.
All right, so he's not actually following anything. I am not interrupting if I go in and.
No. From what you've known, he seems to excel in the classes, so there isn't much of a form. As long as you take something from the lesson, you can carry on from what you're doing. Right. So that's what Tank usually does.
So I can approach him and says, "So, what are you working on, Tank?"
Dink. It's just more like doosh, doosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not making jewelry.
He's definitely not making jewelry. He's currently just hammering out a whole single ingot that's been heated. It's like he's only on his like first or second hammering of it. I'm working on a well, it's supposed to be a chess piece, but it's kind of, I can't get the shape right. Let's just carry on. Trying to get this concave shape.
Do you need any hand? All of us, essentially, and I point to Saman. He's pretty handy with a hammer too. Help out a bit if you want.
He takes out his hammer from his tool belt and waits for it.
No, I have to do this myself. I can't do it any other way. You should know.
I understand.
It's all a lesson, as Ket says.
So, I was wondering, do you have any spare shield or anything like that that we could use? We would pay you for them, of course. We would not take any of your work for granted.
Do you want finished pieces or?
And I look towards someone. What are you trying to do exactly? What do we need?
Do we have any parchment in the room? Oh, okay. He takes out his parchment that is already filled and scribbles up a painting of 2 half moons with a central circle in the middle. Something like this, with 2 bent shields, which mine shield is, as he takes off it back, is already bent in this way. That's why I got the idea. Then securing it with another piece on top, and then implanting something bucklerish size in the middle. Make.
He just like literally points out, why are these 2 pieces separate? It'll break easy. As he looks at the top and the bottom piece.
Well, that's why, as he scribbles and makes basically a cross over it. I do reinforcement over the middle to secure it.
That seems really heavy. And he looks at you, he's like, can you carry that?
He unloads his 2 hand axes, his rapier, his gun, his rifle. Like, I'm already carrying a lot. I can carry more.
Okay. I have some stuff in my room if you wanna check there. Senator, you know where it is, so you can show your friend.
All right.
I'm gonna try and finish this. It's gonna look good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and good luck on your piece. I'm sure it will be
Thanks.
amazing once you're done. You always do great work, and I'm gonna pat him in the back.
Takes a long deep breath.
As we are here, I would like to approach Master's name, Ket, if I can.
He's currently going through the process of making sure the different temperatures of the furnace are correct for different types of metals, and how each piece requires its own temperament, like each of us requires our own separate environment. Senator, approach. This
Master
student is Senator. He's one of the proficient ones. you managed to head out and assist on the front line against the Drow.
Yeah, not exactly the front line. We were more of a behind the line. But anyway, yes. It was an interesting adventure.
So, Senator, what would you like from me?
If you had time, Master, I would like to ask you just a question about one of the visitors in the temple, of the temple. I have not seen before, and I was wondering if you had...
I generally don't deal with the guests. I leave that to Desmi.
Well, it was worth a try.
Why?
Well, you probably know we are interested in adventuring into the Underdark.
It gives this kind of weird burning grin of, you can't even see teeth, it's just white, kind of hot fire.
Not the most sane idea, I know. Which is why we were wondering... We were trying to find anyone who had any information, or as much information as possible, on the Underdark. We were wondering if one of the visitors, the really tall one, greyish skin, I do not know her name.
The female Goliath.
Exactly. The female Goliath. Not sure I've ever seen her here before, in the forge.
She came here but 3 days ago.
Years ago. And when did the giant attack started?
Maybe a day after you left.
Alright. Fine. Yeah, we were just wondering if she had any information about the Underdark, of what the reason was for her visit, but... not aware of it.
Sergio, you've never been one to take a non-direct route.
That is very true. I was counseled to take a less direct approach. I'm told that most of the people are not the most talkative, and perhaps an introduction of someone she knew and trusted more than me would have helped. Would have made our discussions easier, but you are probably right. I will probably go and just talk to her. Probably the better idea.
Remember what you were made for, what you were made from. Honesty. And forwardness.
I bow my head. As always, Master, you're a great teacher, and I thank you for it.
And you are a student that keeps learning.
Always. Never stop. And I bow my head and I take my leave.
Well,
Pass to Savant and fastly scout away.
you catch his eye as you walk away.
And yeah, I'm gonna try and find Tank's room.
Okay. You know where pretty much everyone you talk to's room is, at least. Usually because that's where they either leave their works, because you don't put it in the main chamber, because that would just cluster the whole thing up. Which is why most of your stuff is in your room as well. Yeah, you find Tuck's room, which is down a different passageway. But in a similar style, an iron door, all have their own slight decoration. As one of the steps, you adorn your own door with a personality of yourself. And Tux is, well, you can definitely see he's going through a stage. As it definitely has a very let's go with heavy rock feel.
This room is metal.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way of putting it. As yeah, there's adornments of embellishments of bones, skulls, chains, but it still has a very open feel of not being oppressed but released, which is it's very artistic, but very off-putting for someone who doesn't know him. But yeah, you push the door open, which he doesn't have unlocked. Usually you can lock it, but some people just leave them open. And like your own, his room is an absolute pigsty of a mess. There is pieces of metal, both cut, half-forged, twisted, in several different places across the floor. And against one wall is about 20 pieces of shield, of every type of shape, of tower, circular, buckler. Buckler? Was that a word?
Buckler.
Buckle. As well as some other interesting shapes of both like cone shields, this kind of crest type shield. He's definitely done some very different designs, but all seem to be about half finished. He has a form, but he hasn't actually polished or cleaned it up.
Well, we're gonna need to do some cleaning work anyway on the shield project.
As another part on the other side of the wall is one of the kind of armor stands, which currently has 3 pieces of completed armor on it, of a helmet, boots, and the same gauntlets you had seen him wear previously.
So I'm just gonna scuttle over a bit and inspect the quality.
You'd seen it partially when he showed Synergy yesterday. Again, they're not completely finished. There's no varnish on them or anything like that, but the actual form is pretty well done, considering he's still only an apprentice. But again, they still have that very kind of macabre feel of there's like a skull on the kind of around the wrist part. This kind of like ordained chain wrapped around both the gauntlets. On the feet, there's also kind of this like kind of skull detailing around the ankle, and then on the helmet is it's very tribal in design, but it's still very functional with a visor to cover the eyes, and goes all the way down to the neck.
These pieces are magnificent if they were to be completed. It could definitely be something he could be sold in, well, anywhere in the country, really.
I don't think he will be selling it. I don't think he will ever be selling this.
Well, I was saying it's excellent craftsmanship, whatever.
Oh no, excellent craftsmanship, and he's going just to get better. Trust me, I was a lot worse when I was his age.
A prodigy in making them.
Yeah.
You guys can inspect the shields to see which one.
Does the arse way of holding his hand over his looking at me. Well, anyway,
Right.
to the shields.
To the shields. Okay, so can we just look around to see if there's any shield that will work better-ish with what we were trying to do? Probably we're going to modify it, but
Yeah, considering what you're aiming for, there's definitely a few options you could take. You could take the tower shield and use that as a base, and then just take out the section in the middle and then fit in something there. You could either use one of the larger circular or the crest shield and use that. as a base. There is a buckler. A buckle. Damn it, I keep on saying buckler for some reason. It's not circular, it's buckle. It's a circular buckle. Done. There you go, buckler. But yeah, there's a couple buckles of various sizes. Some look like they would be for like a gnome, and others looks like they could be for like a giant. Because you can tell by the rip guard. Rip guard? Wrist guard. Wow, words today. I guess I need another drink. Anyway, but yeah, you go for them and you manage to pick out something that will definitely be able to work as a centerpiece.
All right.
You're
So we
not
have one
sure.
centerpiece. We have one lateral piece. We need another.
So yeah, you're not sure how to do the actual half pieces apart from a lot of reinforcement or a good amount of welding. As
We could try to make like strengthening bars behind the centerpiece, basically, and so we could use 3 different pieces and make it one.
possible.
And if so, one crescent and a buckler would be perfect.
A buckle.
Buckler. Yes.
Buckler.
Words.
But yes, you definitely get one piece that would be able to work as a centerpiece, and you get out of the room with that piece.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave the boots that I made in there. A piece for a piece. Doesn't feel right to just leave him without anything.
All right. Oh, these are the boots that you made.
Yeah.
All right. You put them by the side.
Yeah, by the side where the rest of the shields are, just so we can see them. That
Over there. Okay.
Yeah.
You do that then. Yeah. All right. And then you guys head down towards the personal forges again.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you guys head down to that direction. There's a lot of movement going around. Oh gosh. You guys are upstairs. Actually, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to figure out where everyone is again. And I'll make a drink because I am thirsty.